All right, it says I'm live. We'll see. You guys got to let me know. I need somebody to do me a sound and video check. Let me know if the sound and the video is okay. If you're out there, let me know. We're going to do this live, so I'll give you a few minutes to get in here, get settled. Everybody come on in. Push on in. Push into the room and come into the comment section. Let me know where you are. Let me know where you're located. Say hi. Be friendly. That's just generally be friendly. I hope this is working. If somebody will let me know as soon as you can, let me know if the sound and the video are okay. Sometimes it takes 30 or 40 seconds. All is good. All right, we're going to do the box thing. You guys get in here, push into the comment section, get in here and say hello. Let me know where you are. I can figure out how to do this box thing. All right, if the video is okay and the sound's okay. I know a couple of shows ago the sound was really, really frazzled and loud. So let me know if the sound is okay. If I could tweak it a little bit, I'll do what I can. Glad to have you guys here. It is January the something, the 18th or something. Man, we are zooming through January. My beard is needs some work. I think I actually slept 12 hours. I should talk about that because I don't generally sleep that long. Yeah, I'm glad you knew there was a live. I'm sorry you didn't get a notification, Heather. We will try to do better. I don't know why YouTube didn't send out a notification. Anyways, I did not go work out this morning. It was a rest day for both me and Mrs. Bunker. And so we decided to get some rest because rest is critically important to a lot of things. Most people are chronically tired, exhausted. And because of that, they are angry a lot, they are depressed a lot, and they make bad decisions. And so we decided we take normal rest days, but today was a total. We were not getting up in the morning. We're not compared to most people. We weren't getting up at 3:15. We weren't getting up at 4 o'clock. We weren't getting up at 5. I think we got up at 6:30. So about 6:30 a.m. I went to bed at 7:30, so it wasn't 12 hours. It was 11 hours of sleep last night. And I must have slept like this because when I woke up, it looked like I was in a windstorm. It looked like my beard was totally going this way. So, and it's been that way all day, and I don't have any beard stuff. All right, again, glad you guys could be here. My name is Michael Bunker. This is the Bunker Nation. You can find me at michaelbunker.com. Glad to be here. I'm going to be your host for the evening, and I appreciate you guys tuning in. Today, I said we were going to talk about bugging out. I've done a couple of episodes in the past on bugging out part 1, bugging out part 2. The bug out bag video is still coming. I have not finished it yet, and so I'm still planning on doing a bug out bag video. The reason that I'm doing a bugging out video today, and it's only one of the topics. We can talk about anything you want to talk about. Put it in the comment section. We can talk about what you want to talk about. The reason why is I was on another show the other night, and I made some comments that you all might be pretty familiar with about what's wrong with the concept or the myth of bugging out. And then I had people pinging me, asking me a lot of questions. So I thought, you know what? We got a lot of new subscribers, more after this show, I hope. And I'm going to cover some bases again. I would have noticed your crooked beard, but you mentioned it. And now I'm staring at it. Yeah, if you look at it just right, it looks like the wind is hitting me from here, and it's blowing the beard that way. And I don't have a mirror, so I don't see myself. I have one, but it's growing into a tree outside. I don't know if I ever explained that, but I cannot get it to go the right way. Anyways, I don't see myself till I'm sitting in front of the camera right before I go on. Yeah, we just got started. Glad you guys could be here. So what I call the myth of bugging out. Basically, I want people to know I'm not saying that it's stupid to plan on bugging out, that it's stupid to have a plan. I'm not saying it's stupid to have a bug out bag or a 72-hour pack or whatever you want to call it. It may be necessary, and we all do what is necessary when the time comes, that those of you in an urban situation, or anybody really for that matter, could be forced into a situation where you are, staying where you are is not tenable. And it is better to be prepared for that situation than to not be prepared for it. The problem is is that, and just like in every other area of life, people are tremendously deceived about their own capabilities, about their own knowledge, about their own survivability, about their own sustainability, and they make the errors in two different directions. They think they're better than they are, and they think things will not be as bad as they will be. And because of that, most people are woefully unprepared for any type of situation. And the worst people are the people that have some survival skills, people that have been in the military, people who have done some camping and stuff like that, because they perhaps have imbibed some errors or have a thought process that doesn't apply in the type of situation in which somebody would have to bug out of a city. These are generally generalizations. Let me say that, just because there's somebody out there who's going to get offended, and maybe you're the rare exception. What I mentioned on the show that I was on just the other day is that people think, a lot of people, especially if they've camped out before, they've done a lot of camping, done a lot of fishing, they've set up at a hunting blind at 4 o'clock in the morning when it was 10 degrees, etc., that they're going to grab a bag, they're going to have a knife, they're going to have maybe a gun, they're going to go off in the woods, and they're going to just survive, or they're going to get their family out, and so everything's going to be hunky-dory. And probably not. And so the reason why I say that, first of all, the example that I gave on the show the other day, probably the best survival show that I've ever seen on TV. The most realistic survival show. The one where somebody would actually have to survive. In other words, there was no support system while they were actually doing the show. Was the show called Alone, and I think it's still playing. It's on the History Channel. I think they've done 6 seasons, maybe 7. The longest anybody, and by the way, they pick experts for that show. They pick survival people that are in the survival business, people that teach survival, people that woodsmanship, bushcrafting, all that kind of stuff. The longest anybody that I know of, I haven't watched all of the last season. The last season, somebody was supposed to go 100 days. Prior to that, the longest anybody had survived on that show without tapping out was 87 days. An expert, an absolute expert in the field, people who have done this stuff their whole life, who know all of the stuff and know what to eat and all the stuff, 87 days. And guess what? Those 87 days were done in a controlled environment where there weren't marauding groups of zombie bikers. There weren't groups of rabid accountants with serrated blades running around and stuff like that. And so let me just tell you, it's a lot harder than even you think that it is. And what I want you to do is extend your mind to as hard as you could possibly imagine, and it's going to be harder than that. So most people are not going to have the ability to survive for a tremendous amount of time. So hopefully that's not really your goal, is just to go, I'm going to go into the national park and I'm just going to eat Bambi for until civilization comes back. The best is that you are prepared for it, you've practiced for it, you have the right tools and the right mindset, and you know how to do things, and you're only going from point A to point B, and you've already planned where point B is. You know exactly who's going to be there, and all of that stuff is arranged beforehand. Other than that, it's a nightmare scenario. So the main thing I wanted to mention, and the question, the questions that were asked to me were, are you against the concept of bugging out? I'm not against anything that you have to do that's moral if you have to do it. What I'm saying is that almost all of you, myself included, could not, in that situation, under pressure, under stress, in a situation where there's been a meltdown, and there are millions of other people trying the same thing, be able to wander into the wilderness, wherever you think that's going to be, and survive for very long. It's just not very likely. The idea is to get somewhere where you already know where you're going, and you know there's a plan for you when you get there. You have to work these things backwards. Your plan doesn't start with get a bug out bag, put a bunch of stuff in it in case bad things happen and you have to walk into the woods. That's the wrong way to deal with bugging out or this preparedness situation. And so the second thing I wanted to do is go into some bad ideas that people have or why people make mistakes. You have to work these things backwards. You have to start with where you're going. Maybe have 2 or 3 options. If you don't know, now is the time. Take day trips. Find somebody. Meet people. Have a plan. Meet a farmer, somebody who's got some land, someone's got some ranch land. Do them a lot of big favors. Make a plan so that wherever you think you're going to go is going to be better than where you are. And then you can work out how to get there. All of those things are things that you're going to have to work out. Learn the skills you're going to have to learn. Things don't go perfectly. Read my book, Wick, and my book, The Last Pilgrims. They're connected. They're in the same universe. Things don't go like the way you think they're going to go. Read anything, The Call of the Wild, to start a fire. Read any of those things. Things don't go the way you think they're going to go. And so you need to practice the skills that you might need, even if it's a 3-day, a 4-day journey, a 2-day hike, a 3-hour cruise. Figure out what you're going to do, how you're going to get there, have multiple plans on what to do if roads are blocked and things like that, and start from the backside and move in. In other words, you start where you're going and you move in. John says, anyone who has gone hunting at 4 a.m. on public lands and seen 4 people sitting 20 feet from them when the sun comes up should realize how many people will be trying to survive. That's exactly right. And the thing is, those other 4 people at 4 in the morning who are hunting reportedly have a clue what they're doing, sitting there. The people that are out there after a stuff hits the fan situation, after a meltdown, after an EMP, after an invasion, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know not to cross your sight line. They don't know any of this stuff. And so that's going to be even worse. So work backwards. Find out where you're going to go. Meet some people. Find out how that's going to work out for you. Talk to people and then work backwards. Okay, the last thing you really want to be that concerned about, because it's easy, is the bug out bag. I'm going to do a bug out bag video. I've been promising it for a year. I'm going to do one. There's dozens of them online from people that are experts and stuff like that. But I'm going to do one so people will see what's in my bug out bag, or I'll finish one. All right. So bad ideas that people have. First of all, people almost universally overestimate their own survival skills. Most of the time, if you've gone camping, if you've gone hunting, if you started a fire and got out there and cooked some bacon from the store and cooked up all these things, those are not really survival skills. That's camping. Trying to kill an animal and do that while you're under stress, which means while your family might be killed while you're cooking it, is a completely different scenario. And so you gotta, one of the first things that help us come to a appreciation of reality is understanding the reality that actually exists. The situation's good. Hello, Frank, good to see you. The situation is going to be worse than you think it's going to be. Things are going to be more dangerous than you think they're going to be. Don't plan on the best case scenario. You plan on the worst case scenario. People that I have worked with and taught and all that who are in the military, some of them are very highly skilled professionals. Most of them are. But in the military, it's a very specialized business. They have supply lines for the most part. Now, if you're an expert in SEER training and you taught SEER school and all this kind of stuff, search and evasion, rescue and all this kind of stuff, then probably you can exempt yourself from what I'm saying. Don't think that I'm ever talking to the 0.001%. Just step to the side and let me talk to the 99.999%. Even those people in the military who have had supply lines and trucks bringing stuff to you. You have to learn uh, the skills that you're going to need to learn in the situation in which you're going to have to learn it. And those things are best learned right now. They're best learned during going out in the spring when it's 72 degrees and it's not going to get that cold is not really the deal. Learn to survive extreme hot weather, extreme cold weather, and when it's the weather is horrible and you're in mud up to your ankles. Then you kind of have a gist of it. That doesn't mean things aren't going to go swimmingly. Perhaps we have a long, drawn-out worst-case scenario, and you're able to walk 5 miles, and you don't ever run into anybody else, and Bambi runs out there, or Bambi's mom, whoever it is, and you're able to get some food. People that have been doing this their whole life have a difficulty. But you watch Jeremiah Johnson, and you think that's you, and it's not you. It's not you. You're the one that's buried up to your neck. And the ants are coming. So another really, really bad idea people have is that they underestimate how bad things can be. That's why I recommend that you create a barrier between your mind and most post-apocalyptic literature. The reason that people buy a lot of post-apocalyptic literature is because they want to root for the hero to make it. And so the hero, things happen that aren't realistic. Perhaps, I use this book all the time to beat up on it, but there's a book called, it's like 77 Days in September or something like that. And they got a whole community of people, like a whole cul-de-sac of people, and they've got like 100 square foot garden. And they're growing enough food for everybody and to put a bunch away. Those things, people think things are going to be a lot easier than they are. Jeremiah Johnson was in a pretty large wilderness. That's true. There aren't that many of. And even when there are, War Dog Heim, things have changed in those wildernesses. The same animals are not plentiful that were there. In fact, in Jeremiah Johnson, I think it's the grizzly man who tells him it's hunted out. Now, down here in Texas, it's not hunted out. You got to dodge the deer with your vehicle. They've been trained to come to the corn machines, but that ain't going to last very long when everybody's hungry. And so just be realistic. Think about things. I'm not against, one of the questions, are you against bugging out? I'm not against bugging out. What I'm against is people having a glorified fantasy idea or a mythological idea of what it's going to be like, who have not practiced, who don't have any skills, thinking that this is their first solution, the best solution that they have. And my main point is to encourage people to start today. Start from the back end and work in. Start from where you're going and work in. That's the best information I can give you. All right, y'all, I'm here for you. Let me roll up here, see what questions and comments I've got. If you have questions or comments, put them in the comment section. Remember that we're on 3 Facebook pages. We are on Periscope, we're on Twitch, and we're on YouTube. You may not be able to see all the comments except those that are coming from your particular platform. So I'll try to remember. I don't know how to do a lot of this stuff. That's the problem. All right. In Central Appalachia, we have many animals, some on 4 legs, some on 2. You're not going to eat the 2-legged ones. They're probably going to be eating you. There are a lot of animals in the wild in the West, differently so in the deathlands of the coast and urban areas, over 100,000. There are a lot of animals, but that changes very rapidly when there are no hunting restrictions and everybody is going after the same food. It changes rapidly. Best books to learn about the Bolshevik Revolution besides Gulag. I've heard that cannibalism became fairly common in Russia during that time. Absolutely. In fact, they had posters throughout the Ukraine during the Ukraine Holocaust there where somewhere around 30 million people starved to death. telling people that it was barbaric to eat their own children. And that's what you get when you get communism and Bolshevism, is you end up eating your own children. Best books about the revolution. This is a really, really good one. It's called And Quiet Flows the Dawn by Mikhail Sholokhov. Highly recommend it. Solzhenitsyn has other books that are good about the revolution as well. There is a book that was actually written by, if I got it here somewhere, was actually written by a communist who died shortly after that. He died and there's a movie on this, the 10 Days That Shook the World by John Reed. John Reed was a communist, and he was an idiot. And he went to Russia and died there like 10 years later. But he wrote this book, and they made a movie about this book called Reds, I think is what it was called. So there's a couple of them to get you started. All right, the movie Into the Wild is cool too. Except the guy's that's the one I'm thinking of. The guy's a moron, and he died up there in Alaska. He's one of the biggest idiots in history. What not to do, but it is cool to learn what not to do. All right. All right, you can eat tree bark. I don't recommend you eat tree bark unless you know what tree it is that you are eating bark from. In fact, I recommend that you know what it is that you're eating before you just eat categories of things. Probably best not to give survival advice in the comment section too. just me going out on a limb here. Yeah, let's not even get into eating tree bark. If you want to, get a survival manual and figure out which ones to eat. That's right, War Dog Hind. 3 means. Bunker principle, 3 means of doing everything. 3 means of fire starting, 3 means of water cleaning, 3 means of cooking utensils, means to cook and boil, basic shelter, all of that. We need 3 means of doing everything, and to be talented and skilled in all of them. How do you handle water in a bug out situation? You cannot carry much water. Water is extremely heavy. Yes, you can eat bark from pine trees. You can also drink tea from the pine needles. A lot of vitamin C. Okay, you can't carry a lot of water. A gallon of water weighs about 8 pounds. And so what you need to have with you is a means or the knowledge on how to purify water. It is fairly, unless you're in the desert or out here where I live. And even out here where I live, even on large ranches, 1,000-acre ranches, there are cattle tanks. And so unless you're in a situation where you're out in the desert, you're going to come across standing water, or you're most likely going to come across creeks and things. You just need to know all of the principles of water purification and how to do it. I have done videos 15, 20 years ago on how to make a drip water filter from materials that you can find, sand and grass and gravel and all that kind of stuff. And you can learn these things. YouTube is easy right now. You can find all kinds of stuff. You could do a search on Google and on YouTube and just put Michael Bunker water purification. You're going to find a video I did probably in 2009. And then you also need to know how to build a fire. You can purify water, of course, with boiling and all those type of things. So handling water, you can carry some water. This is a 1 liter, I believe. So it's maybe 33 or 40% of a gallon. I don't know anything about no Canadian measurements. This is a liter. And so you could carry maybe one of these, maybe 2 in a backpack. After that, you're carrying a lot of weight. It is much easier to carry a water purification, water purification thing. Let me see if I have anything just within reach. I have here the go bag that I'm not doing the video on yet. This is a water bottle purifier. You just screw this into this water bottle if it fits. Let me see. I haven't even tried it. No, it doesn't fit this bottle, but some bottles it will. I carry like 3 or 4 different ways to purify water. I don't want to go through this whole bag right now. It's bad radio. It's bad TV. This is a GoFlow. This is just a bag, but it's got a water purification element on it. You hang it in a tree. You fill up the bag and you hang it in a tree, and that's part of the video that I'm going to be doing. This is called a GoFlow. You can find something like it. It's called a water gravity bag. All right. Carry yourself a Shema or something like that you can filter water through. Water purification tablets are not bad, but I would not rely on them. And I probably got 3 or 4 other ways, but I'm not going to go through this whole bag right now. Anyways, they have these water straws that are fairly small. You can put in a backpack where you can drink right out of a nasty creek with this water straw. Yes, Into the Wild is based on Chris McCandless's misadventure in Alaska that cost his life. His life was cost a long time ago by his parents. He was a spoiled brat who thought he didn't need money. And he's been idealized and heroized so that a lot of other idiots have flown out to Alaska and died trying to do the same thing. Yes, a beautiful clear water can make you sick. But their purification is fairly easy to learn. It's something you can learn fairly easily. Just spend the evening on Google on one topic and then practice it. Get the items. Get yourself a water straw. Get yourself one of these hanging bags. Get yourself some other type of filter and practice using them. And so you feel comfortable with it. All right. Watch a couple of videos. Watch one of my videos, something like that. And then you can do it. All right. Well, storing water is a lot easier because you can carry water bags that will hold water, and water bags that are made for water that fold down really, really tiny. And so that's a lot easier. And in addition to being able to manufacture them, if you have a knife and you are in a place where you have materials, straw or something like that, there's different materials you can use to make. Another thing to watch on YouTube is making water containers. And I don't know why he came up there, because he was an idealist. He thought that there was a place where you could go and you could live, and it was going to be like Snow White. You know, birds were going to fly down and bring you cherries and stuff. And he just had this idealistic view that nobody needed money. We could all just sit around and absorb nutrients. And I know I'm being pretty hard on the guy, but he's gotten a lot of people killed, and he was an idiot. He was also a socialist. And so that kind of thinking goes hand in hand. The same people who think that you can destroy civilization, you can chop off the whole building, the first floor of the building, and the rest of it's just going to be suspended in air. Those are the people who go off into the woods with a pocket knife and think that they're going to do all right. And they don't do all right. And they expect someone else to come save them. Because that's what society's for, man, is to raise your children and to make sure that you can live when you're too stupid to do it on your own. By the way, whenever you see me drinking water, I do drink the original that I buy to get the bottle. And then I fill these bottles for long periods of time from filtered water. We've been filtering our water out here for 16 years. All of our water is rain caught off the roof, and it goes into a large cistern, and we have a storage tank, and then it's pumped up, and we put it through a Berkey filter, and it's all filtered water. All right, if you guys have questions and comments, come on in here. By the way, I wanted to tell you guys, first of all, subscriptions have been up, and that's great. We're trying to get as many subscribers as we can to the channel. I try to do all of this material as much as I can for free, in addition to my other channel. And so trying to put out content 2 or 3 times a week can be interesting. I saw this. I'm going to show it to you. And I thought it was interesting. I'm always trying to share you guys the inside scoop. Watch time from subscribers. 58.9% of the people in the last 28 days watching this program are not subscribed. Now, that's not as bad as it looks. That just means we're getting to a lot of people who don't even know who I am, and that's good. And perhaps they're new to the show and they haven't decided to subscribe yet. But if you've watched this far, just hit the subscribe button. Just go down to YouTube. If you're watching on Periscope or Twitch or any of those things, just go over to YouTube, scan down into the right under the picture there and hit the subscribe button. It sure would help. Also hit the like button, smash it. Smash the like button wherever you are. If you're on YouTube right now, go and hit the like button. If you're on Facebook or whatever, like or whatever. After the show's over, if you would, traverse your way to YouTube, subscribe to the channel, like it, and all that kind of stuff. All right, if you guys have questions or comments, what are you saying wow for, Hava? Did I say something? Did I say something insulting, maybe? It's possible. But go ahead and get your questions and comments in, or it's going to be a short show. I still have to do my bug out bag thing, and I've got my bug out bag here. I just need to go through it because I keep it here and I throw stuff into it every once in a while because that just means before I do anything, I would go through it and see what's in it. And then I may have 3 different ways to do something, and I may be only want to carry one. We'll see. Let me look. I thought I had a pure water filter in here. Thank you, War Dog Heim, for the ducats. I appreciate it. For those of you who don't know what this is, it's called a super chat. You can go down there on YouTube, right down there where you post your comment, where you write your comment, and there's a little $sign. You can click on that, and you can throw some ducats my way to help pay the bills. Because there's a lot of bills. I'm reaching down in here. All right, we're going to wait. We're going to wait. I just thought I might be able to do that before. I know I have a pure water filter around here somewhere. What is the longest you've ever survived out in the woods at one time? Well, I've been living here for 15 years. Many times, weeks on end, in a tent, and this is basically the woods, without power, without electricity. So the way we define things are different. If you're talking about going on a camping trip, a week or 10 days or 11 days, I don't know. But we moved out here. I moved out here in May of 2005, and there was nothing on this land, and there was we put a tent up, and we went long periods of time without going to town, without doing anything, because we were just building out here when we first got started. Life straw, all right. Those are nice. That's what I was trying to think of, the survival straw. I have done extreme cold weather survival, extreme hot weather survival, and other forms of survival. But most of the time, you can't do those things for very long because either you're on public land or you're on somebody else's property. I have not tested myself to see if I could just walk into the woods. And that's why I included myself earlier on when I said, you're not going to make it. I included myself when I said, and me too. I think I would do better than most people. I think that I've survived out here for a very long time doing a lot of things. I think there are not many things that I have not done and done and practiced to where they're second nature. My books are going to tumble. But I'm not saying, and we've had TV shows and reality shows and stuff that have talked to me about doing stuff. I would love to have gone on alone, and I did apply for season 5 or something like that, and they never contacted me. Most likely because they want a mix of, they got their social mix they got to get, and they also have to have a mix of people that are really, really dumb, who are going to make dumb mistakes because it makes good for good TV. And then they only have 1 or 2 people on every season that's like probably really, really good. Going hunting with me, I would be completely honest with you and tell you I am not an avid hunter. I have hunted a lot of things, but I am not an avid hunter. I don't enjoy modern hunting the way that it's done in Texas. I was talking to somebody the other day, and the hunting that they do up in other areas. A friend of mine's up in Wyoming, where they hike in 4 days and they get an elk and have to pack out the meat, or like you do in Alaska. I would love to do that. In Texas, I'm not only not, I don't like it, but I don't like the people who do it very much. Some of them might be great people. Maybe I'll meet some of them. Basically, the idea of having a $56,000 pickup truck and a $4,000 four-wheeler and a $3,000 trailer and paying a $3,500 lease for 2 months so you can drive out there and stay in a $4,000 deer blind and shoot a trained deer that's trained to come when the corn feeder goes off is not really that sporting to me. In fact, I have to dodge deer just to get to town at 3:15 in the morning, and so that's just not really. And I understand people enjoy it, and I'm glad they do it because they apparently they're keeping the deer population down. No, it would be fun to go hunting up in Alaska. I would love to do it. It would all be new to me. That whole idea of that kind of hunting would be very, very something I would like to do. Yeah, $1,000 van or $210 gun, that's more like my speed. Just hiking in would be probably the way to do it for me. And if there was a place to go, I got a daughter living up in Alaska now, where I could go up there and test all the stuff that I know at this age. I'm 54 years old. At 54 years old, then I would like to go do it. All right. It's all staged. All right. All right. If you guys have questions or comments, get them in. Hannah says you might win alone. I definitely pray for you and cheer you on. It's true. I could win. There have been some people that know what they're doing on that show. I follow Zachary Fowler, Fowler's Makery of Mischief. He's got a fun channel, and I think he went 87 days. But yeah, Alone is less staged than any other survival show. It is the most realistic. It's the most realistic of just about any show that I've watched. Yeah, we ought to do it. We ought to do that. Someday I'll have to go up to Alaska and we'll do a show. We'll film it ourselves. Yeah. All right. Well, be in touch, Ethan. I'd like to go up there and visit my daughter anyway. She's living up there right now. Yeah, getting off the road and into the mountains around the homestead is way different than harvesting deer off my property. Yep. Yeah, I got deer that come right to my creek right behind the office here, and I've walked up on them before. Most of them are sitting around during the day waiting for the deer feeders to go off. We have a game ranch right next to us, and those deer feeders go off, and they go, and the deer know to come and eat. It's not really that sporting. All right, man, be in touch, Ethan. All right, you guys, if you got questions or comments, now is the time to do so. I appreciate you guys being here as always. It's always fun. And I'm going to include this in a bug out playlist. And I'm going to do my bug out bag. I've been working on it, but I'm going to do my bug out bag video. It's going to be a major hit. Everybody's going to share it. Like you guys are going to share this video. You're going to share it, and then it's going to go viral. Probably not, but it would be great. And as always, I appreciate your support. I try to do this content 2 to 3 times a week, help people out as much as I can. Remember to think and thrive. I appreciate you guys being here as always. Frank says this past summer, the Alaskan National Guard had to use a big helicopter to move the bus that McCandless died in. Several people had died trying to get to it. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was like a stupid magnet. And it's too bad. It's too bad because with some minimal skills, McCandless could have survived. He did some very, very stupid things. And I know it's easy to second guess, but there are things that you need. How is everyone feeling after COVID? We're all feeling better. I don't know that we're 100%. I know Danielle's still feeling lethargic. She's had trouble at the gym. I know I got kind of back into it pretty quickly, and I've almost gotten back to where I was before COVID. But Danielle's had a little bit slower time getting back into it. And oh, by the way, there's a new thing, and I just started it today. It's called locals.com or locals. I don't know anything about it yet. It's a combination of like YouTube and a lot of social media. And I did start a Bunker Nation page there. So go to locals.com or find the Locals app on Google Play or wherever you find your apps. Check it out. Find me there. Just look for Michael Bunker of Bunker Nation and join the group there. It could turn into something. I know these things are coming out every day, and you just got to kind of get on them and see if something's going to catch hold. I don't know if it is. We'll see. Think, thrive, and survive. That's right, War Dog Time. I appreciate you. All right, if we don't have any more questions, I'm glad you guys are all doing great. Glad you're all getting over it, Hava. I hope you guys are doing well. As always, I appreciate y'all. I love you, which is why I do this. God bless you, Lord willing. I'll see you again. If not tomorrow, then maybe the next day. But I will see you when I see you. Talk to you later.